Welcome back to the Brain Mission channel. I'm your host Brainy, and today we're gonna take a dive into the CBT, the Science CBT for 2024. Let's see how we would have done if we had taken it. So there are 40 items on this test. Each has only one correct answer. Read each item carefully. Select the correct response, then shade the correct corresponding letter of the answer you choose on the answer sheet provided. Number one, which activity is harmful to the environment? Terracing, organic farming, slash and burn is what I choose right here. The images below were taken from a poster. Carefully examine the images and use them to answer item 2. So use both sides of the paper, fix dripping pipes, plant a tree. I chose conserve the environment. That's what I think would be the best name for the poster. Which is a factor that can cause climate change. I chose releasing large amounts of carbon dioxide in the air over time. So that would be D. All right, so here I am. For this, we're gonna look at two different years on a landmass. So it says land, no ice. So no ice around, and then you have more ice over here. So it says which is the likely cause for the change that occurred. I would say global warming. If let me see, more frequent change of global, I say global temperature, because it would melt the ice around, so you have more land than ice. All right. The diagram below shows an incorrect order of the organs in the digestive system. Study it carefully, then use it to answer item 5. So mouth, stomach, oesophagus, that's oesophagus, then the small intestine, large intestine. Something is wrong here. I think from the mouth, the oesophagus would be second. So I would say the stomach and the oesophagus should be replaced. Oesophagus here, stomach over here, and that makes more sense. So I'll choose A. Number 6, use the diagram below to answer item 6. It says, what is the name of the organ labeled X? This is definitely the lung, right? Right. So which is a property of sound? It travels in one direction from its source? That's not true. And how would you hear behind when I'm talking and you're behind me? It travels faster in the air than in solid? No, I don't think so. It travels in the direction from its source, in all directions from its source. I say that's it, all directions from its source. Speech affected the color, no. Read the statement below, then use it to answer item 8. When the machine is turned on, it makes a loud and high-pitched sound. Which word best describes the sound that the machine makes when it's turned on? I say it's not rhythmic, that's not music. Unpleasant definitely makes an unpleasant sound. All right. Which is an example of a non-luminous object. All right, objects that actually, I would say, reflect or can bring its own light. I'm sorry. So car headlight has its own light. Cell has its own light. Bicycle reflector actually is a reflector, so it's not. It's definitely that one. There you go. So I would say bicycle reflector. The diagram below shows what happens to a light ray as it makes contact with an object. Use the diagram to answer item 10. So here's the object, here's a light ray. So the light hits the object and it doesn't go through the object. So which is true about the object? Is it shiny? If it was shiny, it would bounce. Opaque would be it, because opaque means density, so it can't go through it. Translucent means some light will go through it, and transparent means that it can go through it. So I'll choose opaque. Examine the diagram below, then use it to answer item 11. Light ray striking the reflective surface. Light ray bouncing off the reflective surface. Which is a likely characteristic of the reflective surface? The reflective surface is uneven, curved, rough. I'll say it's smooth. That's why it's bouncing off, reflecting. Which is true about a type of material? With all types of material, they can exist as solid, liquid, or gas. I say that's it. They are transparent or translucent. Not all. Right, so definitely that's A. Which is a characteristic of an irreversible change? The dash substance undergoes a change in state. Well, it doesn't mean it can't change back. Mass of the substance increases, doesn't mean that it can't lower the mass. Substance changes color, you can repaint it or change the color again. Substance cannot return to its original form, so it's D. Read the observation below, then use it to answer 14. When warm air was blown onto the surface of a mirror, water droplets were formed. That sounds like condensation to me, like how it rains. All right. The label below is from a common household product. Examine the label, then use it to answer item 15. All right. So inhaling spray may harmful, extremely flammable container may explode if eaten. So I know all of these, right? So what advice would you offer to a person using the product? Avoid storing in cold areas. No, avoid using. All of these are flammable stuff. I would say avoid storage in hot areas. So that would be C. Just to jump to it. Which pair of words is needed to correctly complete the sentence below? Matter will change from liquid to a dash through a process. From liquid to solid through a process called freezing. So that's A. Read the statement below, then use it to answer item 17. A student wanted to clean up a spill without getting any liquid on his hand. So I would say they need to use something that is waterproof, as like a waterproof glove, so the water liquid doesn't touch the hands. The diagram below show 4 rods of equal length made from different materials. Each rod was heated at one end using a lit candle. The time taken for the other end of the rod X to get hot was noted. Use information to answer 18. So this is time taken for location X, 45 seconds. That must be metal, right? Time taken for location X, the glass, it takes 75 seconds longer. So time taken for the location X, this is wood, 120 seconds, and this is 100. So this will take longer. So I would choose wood. Alright, which diagram likely represent an irreversible change? So square or rectangle to rectangle, this can change back. This is from a square to a circle, so I definitely think this is it. And finally, which statement best describes mixtures? They contain one type of, no, they cannot be physically separated. That's not true. There's formed with a solid dissolves. No, they contain 2 or more different substances. I'll say D. Question 21. The diagram below shows a container filled with a mixture. Carefully examine the diagram, then answer item 21. So here's the mixture. You have container here, then you have sawdust here, metal thumbtack, fine sand particles, and water. So in what order should the mixture be separated to collect the water from the mixture? Okay, first use a magnet, then use a sieve, and then filter to collect the water. That would be A. I definitely think so. Alright, let's move on. So item number 22, which is a solid to liquid mixture. So which is a solid to liquid mixture? Rice and peas, those are 2 solid. Cornflakes and milk, so I would say cornflakes is solid, milk is liquid, so that is the answer for 22 is B. The diagram below shows the observation made after 4 different mixtures were allowed to sit for 5 minutes. Use the information to answer item 23. So here's mixture 1. 5 minutes, it's still the same thing, nothing done. Here's mixture 2. After 5 minutes, it actually dissolved. You can see that the yellow particles dissolved into the water. So guess what? This is definitely the answer would be, which mixture formed a solution? Okay. I think it would be mixture 2. Alright, number 24. The picture below shows a small area of a rainforest. One section of the rainforest shows thick tree coverage, which is forested, while the other section shows deforestation. Use the picture to answer 24. So which change would most likely happen over time? So animal population will decrease in the deforested section. Yes, that is correct. Let me see the rest. The wind in the deforested section would stop blowing. That's not true. The oxygen level would increase in the deforestation section. That is opposite. Average annual rainfall will increase in no. So the answer is A. All right, let's move to number 25. Use the information below to answer item 25. A group of scientists investigated the effect that sound in a harbor had on the harbor's fish. population. The diagram below shows the results of their investigation. Diagram showing fish count and the loudness of sounds in a harbor on 3 different days. So the loudest, you have 12,000 fish. When it's soft, 25,000. When it's just loud, it's 15. So when it's soft, there's more fish. When it's a little loud, a little bit less fish, and then the least fish at when it's very loud. So what? Which statement is supported by the information in the diagram? The harbor fish are likely attracted to loud sounds. No. Scared away by loud sound. I'd say B. They're scared away. The line graph below shows the speed of sound as it travels through different states of matter. Use the information to answer item 26. So you have the speed of the sound right here on the y-axis, and in the x-axis you have the type of material, or the different type of matter. So you have gas, liquid, and solid. This is gas, the lowest, liquid, mid, and the more solid sound goes through faster. So through which of the following would sound travel the fastest? This is saying solid. Solid is concrete, so I definitely know that this is D. So the model below was created to demonstrate how the bones, joints, and muscles work together to create movement. Structure 1 works by pulling on structure 2 or 3. If 2 is pulled, structure 4 moves upward. If 3 is pulled, structure 4 moves downward. Carefully examine the diagram, then use it to answer item 27. So here's structure 1, structure 3, structure 4, this is 2. Okay, so which structure likely represent the muscle? So I would represent, or 1 would represent the muscle, because it is the one that's pulling everything. So this one is the muscle. This is what's gonna bend. This is gonna cause smoothness at the veins. And this one is just the tension right here. So this one is pulling. So the muscle would be, let's see, I would think the muscle would be actually 3 actually. So I would change that to 3. It is the tension right here. I would say it's 3. Sorry, change my mind to 3. So let's look at number 28 and 29. The bar graph below shows how overfishing has affected the population size of 4 different types of fish. Use the information to answer item 28 and 29. So the bar graph showing population size of 4 fishes, 4 fish types I should say, before and after overfishing. So this is the population of the fish on the y-axis, and down here you have the x-axis, which is the type of fish. Now you also have before overfishing and after overfishing. So what's the question? Or let's see, which fish type had the largest population before they were overfished? The largest population would be this, which is fish type 1. So I would select fish type 1. Which statement is true? Twice as many fish type 1 was caught when compared to fish type 2. Twice as many. So here, twice as many. I would say no, because if you look at it, twice as many, let's see. It looks like that's the answer. The number of fish type 2s and fish type 4 caught were equal. No, this is actually C is the answer. So let's look at this again. Fish type 4 was most affected by overfishing. That is not correct. Twice as many fish type 1 was caught when compared to fish type 2. 1. So you have caught here, but to measure up twice as many, I wouldn't say twice as many. It's way more. So I would say this is fish type 2 had the smallest population after the period of overfishing. I would say C is the answer. The number of fish type 2 and fish type caught were equal, because I see this here. All right. So let's move on to 30. During an investigation, a light source was placed at different distances from an object. The heights of the shadows formed were measured. The table below shows the results of the investigation. Use the table to answer item 30. So, item 30. So what is it? Table showing light source distance and height of shadow. So light, so this is the distance, 15, 30, 40, so it's going up, and this is it, it's going down. So which statement is true? Increasing the light source distance increase the height of the shadow. That's not true. It's actually decreasing. Changing the light source distance doesn't affect the shadow. That's not true. Increasing the light source actually decrease. So I would say it's C. Right, let's move on. A student wanted to determine which of three materials was the hardest. The diagram below shows the steps involved in the student's investigation. Use them to answer item 31. So you have a metal nail, metal nail, metal nail. You have this like a ball, this like some other material. What is this? Like surface B. Not sure what it is. Surface A, nail, trying to scratch surface A material. So what are we trying to do here? What should the students do to ensure the test is fair? So we're trying to determine which of three material was the hardest. Okay, so three different material, which one is the hardest? So scratch each material more than once. What would that tell us? Nope. Use the same type of material in each step. No, three different material. Use a different nail to scratch. No, scratch each material at the same force. So it would be D. Definitely. Alright, so the table below shows the result of an investigation. Use the information to answer item 32. Table shows the mass of 3 paper towel brands before and after being placed in water. So brand Q, brand R, brand S. So in 10 grams of water, or the mass of water that they put in. Okay, 10 grams. And then mass after being placed. So 1, 18, 32, and okay, I see what this is doing. Which scientific question was the student most likely trying to answer? Which is the mass of each brand of paper? No. Which of 3 brands of towel is the strongest? No. How quickly can each brand paper towel dry up the spill? No. There's no speed test here. Which of the 3 brands of paper towel is most absorbent? That is the answer. Alright, so 33. The diagram below represents how an organ in the human body function. Use it to answer item 33. Material from the body enters organ. Okay. I guess it's like the mouth and maybe esophagus. Alright, so here then it says useful matter return to body. Unwanted. Okay, this is filtering out. So this is a kidney, of course. I don't have to ask. Which organ is represented in the diagram? It looks like this is the kidney. Alright, so let's see. The diagram below shows the height of plants A, plant B, and plant C. The diagram also shows the condition each plant was exposed to. Use the information to answer 34. So you have water, 95 centimeter cube daily. Sunlight 4 hours, number of insects low, soil type is sandy soil. This one 100 centimeter cube daily, 4 hours, just the same, low insect. So okay, this is clay. 100 centimeter cube daily, sunlight 4 hours daily, same amount of sunlight, just different insects. But you have sandy and you have clay. The sandy ones are taller, clay shorter, but it has a little bit more. This has the same amount of water, so water is not the issue. So which factor likely caused plant B to grow the least? I would say it is clay, the type of soil. So let's see that the amount of insects, the amount of sunlight, the soil in which, I would say B. Alright, so let's move on. 35. So examine the bar graph and statement below, then use them to answer item 35. So the bar graph is showing the number of people on the y-axis and then the years on the x-axis, hearing loss and the frequency headaches. Okay, it is believed that a new development is responsible for the changes in the number of people with hearing loss, so and frequent headaches after the year 2000. What was the development? The development was like a newly built what? I would say airport. Have you ever lived beside an airport? Man, alright, a map and the table are shown below. The map shows the location of fish along the coast of country X. The table shows the population size of sharks along the coast of country X. Use information to answer item 36. So here's country X. You have the east and you have the west, and then you have this little part here which is fish location. Then you have the west coast, high, very low over here, the shark population. So it says west coast shark population is high and low in the east, so more sharks over here. So which is a likely reason that there are more sharks on the west coast than they're following the fish? Okay, I know that there is more food on the west coast, so I'll say B. All right. In the cartoon below, some community members were at a town meeting giving an account of their experiences. Use information to answer item 37. Every time it rained, it created holes that got deeper and wider. That's what one person said. They started to plant the crops in lines running straight down a hillside. Yeah, why would they do that though? Running straight down a hillside, that sounds like vertical. We begged them to stop. A lot of mud came in through the back door. This sounds like it's like some planting, you're not contouring so that it's gonna wash down the soil down. So what did the member of the community likely experience? Okay, so hillside erosion caused by poor farming. I say that that's it. Yeah, don't have to go any further. A table and a graph are shown below. The table shows the average monthly temperatures and rainfall for location Q. The graph shows the growth rates of a plant found in location Q. Examine the table and graph and then use them to answer item 37 and 38. So this is the temperature right here, the table, and 25, 27, 25, then the rainfall in centimeter, 6, 11, 5. The graph showing the growth rate of a plant. Okay, so this is the y-axis, x-axis, the growth rate and the time in the months actually, which is over time. All right, so which best describe the pattern which seen in the graph? So this is fluctuating. It's up and down. So it started high, then well, not really high, but it started at a point, then it goes down, then it's up again. So that's fluctuating. All right, what statement can be made about the plant? The growth rate of the plant is the highest when? It's in January when you have low rainfall, high temperature. Okay, and it's also in September. So I would say the growth rate period when average rainfall is low. Right, that's what it is. All right, cool. So the diagram below shows what a student observed over 4 days while looking at 2 trees. Tree Q and tree R. Examine the diagram, then use it to answer item 39. So day 1, I see butterflies and I see some birds. Nothing over this tree. Then I see tree Q has the blackbirds, and then they have maybe gray birds or blue birds, I'm not sure. And then you have the butterflies. Butterflies are here, both blackbirds are here and bluebirds. Tree, okay. All right, so which best explains why the bluebirds change the trees they perch on each day? I'll say that they're always following the butterflies. Of course. All right, cool. And the last one, 2 diagrams below. 2 diagrams followed by a statement are shown below. The diagram shows the result of an investigation determining how much water 2 soil types, soil A and soil B, can hold. Use the information to answer item 40. So you have 250 milliliters of water poured into a soil, Right, so you have the funnel containing soil, then the filters at the bottom, the bottle, the water that is left after. Okay, I see what's happening here. So it says statement, cactus plants grow best in soils that do not hold a lot of water. And this soil seems like it's just releasing all the water quickly. So which supports the idea that soil B is better for a growing cactus? Well, let's see, more water passes through soil B than soil A. Right, that's what it says. That's the answer to me. Let me just check the others. 250 milliliters of water can be added. No, soil A particles are larger. How would you know that than soil B? How would you know that? It's the same thing. Water flows slowly through soil B. That's not true. It's actually, so definitely A. All right, so we have come to the end. I want to thank you again. Remember to like, share. I hope that you would have gotten most of, or if not all of them. Like, share, subscribe. My name is Brainy. See you next time.